Hey YouTube, it's your boy Mizuki back in another video, and in today's video we're going to be discussing something that no one has ever discussed yet. Yes guys, that's obviously the worst race, which y'all can tell by the title is Soul Reaper. Now I choose Soul Reaper for many reasons, and y'all might be like, no, it's Fullbringer obviously. Well, one, it's just a human, and I personally don't count human as a race until Fullbringers are official or officially out. Two, like, I feel like there's a lot of good reasons behind why this race should probably be avoided unless you're low-key bored, like me, and just want to max out another race for fun, then that's understandable. But other than that, it's not something I'd personally recommend you grind as a main. Now, anyways, y'all know me. Before making this video, I discussed this info with the active members of the game, as well as the mods and the content creators such as myself, to solidify my point of view. I've also made time segments for this video, the first part being the background and basics of how to achieve it and etc. And the second part will obviously be the cons of this race and why I think it's the worst race in the game. And lastly, I'll cap off with a nice outro as usual. So now without further ado, let's hop right into the video. Now most of y'all know that Soul Reapers are like the main race of Bleach, and our beloved protagonist Ichigo Kurosaki is a Soul Reaper himself. Well, a substitute Soul Reaper, but same thing. Anyways, in order to get a Soul Reaper, y'all just gotta talk to Kisuke. He's obviously located in Karakura town. Bro, my pronunciation's so ass today. But anyways, he's like sitting in his little shack, kind of on the side of the map. Basically, he'll give you a dialogue option. I like to become a Soul Reaper. You obviously choose that, and it turns into a Soul Reaper. This only appears if you're a soul or a human, for obvious reasons. Now anyways, moving on to the reasons. Now anyways, there are many reasons to why I know Soul Reapers are bad, and one of them is the fact that the race is low-key just weak. Like, unless you're going for Vast Rage and are simply Visored, there isn't really any reason for why you'd go for Soul Reaper physically. Like, obviously when you have a choice of Quincy and or Arrancar. Because unless you go out of your way to receive either of the two abilities, you're gonna get dogged on by Quincy's and Arrancars. Like low-key these days, the only reason my players even go for Soul Reaper is, or in the first place, is because of the long grind to getting Vast Rage and even Visored, which obviously takes up y'all's time and is kind of a way to provide entertainment while obviously Peroxide's cooking for the Fullbringer update. Which, I mean, Visored isn't really hard to get compared to that of Vast Rage, and Visored is really hard to get, which just shows how difficult Vast Rage is to get. Which is literally my point, is it takes forever to get Vast Rage. Like, I made a video listing out all the cons of Vast Rage not so long ago, and although it's very strong, and if you know what you're doing, it could be very strong, I still think that with all that in mind, it can be very time consuming, and it's even a more draining process than getting a Roncar, for obvious reasons, since you gotta get like 3 Hogyokus, and all that constant grinding and etc. and just moving around. It's just too much for something that can be easily dodged for the most part. Like the Cero is easy to evade since the startup time is pretty noticeable. Well, that's simply said. Overall, the only good thing about the Vast Rage is the Last Resort Revive, which is clutch, but that's really it. You know, I know some people that it took them 2 weeks to get Vast Rage. Me personally, it took me a week because I kind of started late, so I kind of had all the steps listed out in front of me, and also I kind of cheated halfway through and asked this kid who was like halfway to getting Vast Rage to lend me his account, so you know, it's kind of like, it was easy. Now another problem with Soul Reaper is if, okay, you're not just a Soul Reaper, you get Visored, right? Well, guess what? You get a debuff, and a debuff is, if you're not in masked form, you get a 15% debuff in both your health and your damage, which is so ass. And the problem is, if you do have your mask on, it can break pretty easily, since in a fight, if you're fighting a guy that's pretty strong, your mask has a higher chance of cracking, and obviously once it does, then comes a debuff, which is just so inconvenient, like especially in like a PvP scenario, since in reality you need as much health and damage as you can foster, but obviously with the huge debuff, it leaves you in a disadvantage, and a pretty big one too. Another problem is when you're in Visor state as a whole, you get buffs, right? But Visor mask and the debuffs when you're not wearing it can be a problem, since your mask will break a lot quicker in the beginning. So you'll choke a lot in the beginning, leading to a lot of openings, a lot of scenarios where you're just weak as hell from having these crazy debuffs on you, alongside the fact that you're already the weakest race. Overall, Soul Reapers are the problem child of Peroxide. Clone and Vastrage need to be wiped off the face of the earth and focus on Quincy's. That's simple. The real problem. Aside from that, Update 4 is right around the corner. As a matter of fact, we literally received basically a confirmation from Peroxide that it is legit and will be coming out sometime either tomorrow and or next week. Obviously, the reason why I didn't put this into a video is because I'm not trying to say the obvious here. Like, we already know that this update is coming out this week. I really don't know why YouTubers are like every time Peroxide's like, it's coming out this week, like one word in the announcements and people are like making full ass videos about it. It doesn't make sense. But anyways, can't wait for that. And yeah, on that note, like, sub, all the proper things, and I'll see you on the next one. Ciao.